So first, I want to look at the market itself and take a look at how it's doing versus what we have in terms of the strategy. So these are the spiders, and the spiders represent 85% of the market, all the stocks. And we see that if we go back in time into July, mid-July, we had run up to mid-July, and then we had this big downward move. And then the downward move happened for a lot of reasons. A lot of people say, well, it's just profit taking. Some people say the Fed, in terms of cutting rates, became more questionable because of what was going on with the economy. And then all of a sudden we got to this point and the market started rebounding, the overall market. And that happened when people thought, well, it looks like the Fed may be able to cut rates. Of course, when I keep saying cutting rates, the stock market loves rate cuts because that affects earnings, and that's what drives price of stocks is earnings. When companies have good earnings, the stock price will go up. So that's the whole idea of rate cuts. If they cut it, that's what the market was thinking. Yeah, they're going to cut. They're talking about it. And then it became questionable again, and the market kind of consolidated. And then we had this downward move and said, uh-oh, we're not sure based on what's happening with the economy. There are some numbers that came up that showed inflation was still too high for them to cut rates. And of course, the Fed has a target before they would cut rates. And then just in the last couple of days, some numbers have come up that said inflation numbers, looks like inflation is calming down a little bit, even though core inflation was up, overall inflation was calming, and they expect core inflation to come down. But you can see the market reaction in the last few days in terms of what's happening, meaning it's given the Fed the green light to cut rates. And also what's been going on now, people are saying, well, the Fed's going to cut rates, but now is it going to be a 25 basis point or 50 basis point? A lot of people are thinking, well, maybe they'll cut 50 basis point. That would really make stocks go up. Again, this is all rumor, right? So this is all talking heads and rumors. So, but the market reacts to that in terms of what it thinks what the market's going to do based on the actual numbers that come out. So if we look at the indicators, right? The indicators, we were oversold down here. So this was a nice trade to the upside, just like we were overbought here, which was a nice trade to the downside. Now, we haven't really been oversold or overbought. We've kind of been trending in the middle. So we don't have a trade on the market itself. But what this is telling us, with the market moving up in terms of the stocks we would look at, what stocks do you think we would consider if the market is moving in an uptrend? So let's type in your chat box. Should we look at oversold stocks or overbought stocks more? All right. Yeah, we've got oversold. Johnny, Richard, Ramon. Yeah, if we take a look, since the market has been moving up, if you think about it, it's kind of water in a harbor where all the boats are in the harbor. If the water starts to move up, the tide comes in, the water moving up is going to move most of the boats in the raise most of the boats. Same way with stocks. If the market is starting to move up in price, most stocks, since the spiders represent 85% of the market, most stocks will start to move up. So what do we want to do? We want to catch them when they're down here and oversold. If they're going to be moving up, we want the oversold ones. If the market was coming down like it was here, the market was overbought, and going down, we would be looking at overbought stocks to come down in price. Here, we're looking at oversold stocks to go up in price, right? And if you notice, this price is interesting here, got a little bit of a W formed or double bottom, and then the market took off. Now the indicators are telling us the RSI is pointing up. MACD had crossed coming down, then it went flat. Now it's actually pointing up. Looks like it's about to cross. So the technical indicators, even though we don't have an overbought or oversold signal, these indicators, they're still alive, right? They're telling us there may be more upside to this market. So if that's the case, we'll be looking at more of the oversold stocks moving up. Now, at some point, you'll see, because I did a scan, we have a lot more overbought stocks in this recent today than we have oversold, because a lot of the oversold stocks have been moving up now. Now, the overbought stocks have been more overbought because the market's been moving up. So at some point, when they start to reverse, we'll have an overbought trade when the indicators tell us that.